Today's video, we start with a hydration chart. Am I hydrated? Aim for clear urine at least 10 times a day. Eat a diet rich in fresh fruits and vegetables. Drink a quart of water before meals. Thank you.
Here we have Natasha riding. We filmed this last night, riding back from Norton Summit. Chris Froome's vegan diet. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what Chris Froome's eating. He's doing the vegan thing. He's always been doing the vegan thing. All the pro cyclists out there eat a mostly vegan diet. That's fact. Pasta, rice, sugar, gels, jam sandwiches, bananas, Alan Lim's rice cakes. These things are very vegan, and so most professional cyclists have always been, mostly vegan. It's just by default. Carbohydrates are the fuel of every single elite level runner, cyclist, swimmer, bodybuilder of all time. Now, that doesn't matter what drugs you take, you need carbohydrates for those drugs to work, for the muscles to work. Just fact. If you don't have the carbohydrates in your body, you will not be able to perform. It's called muscle glycogen. And even you see all the athletes, it doesn't matter what sport you're coming from, they all eat a mostly vegan diet. It's just fact. Now, obviously, I've thrown bodybuilders in there. I've thrown bodybuilders in the same topic as cyclists. Bodybuilding is basically drug taking, how much steroids you can inject to get the desired effect. But you also need carbohydrates to have the strength to lift the weights at the gym that stimulate the muscle growth and the anabolic effect from the steroids you're injecting and consuming. We'll get to that in a sec. Let's talk about Chris Froome's vegan diet, which is different to bodybuilding and different to steroids. Chris Froome's high carb. He's just, I've ridden with Chris Froome a few times, and Chris Froome, if you have the pleasure of riding with Chris Froome, which I've done for a few hundred kilometers over the years since 2011 when Chris Froome first came to Adelaide, he is a very chill dude. He's just like, Chris Froome is a Tour de France winner, a superstar, but he's just a chill dude, man. He is like the new kid who gets into cycling. He's just friendly and excitable and just, sort of goofy on the bike. He doesn't look like a pro cyclist in terms of his pedaling technique. He's all over the bike like a praying mantis in a wind, but he's just a chill dude and a beast on the bike. We've seen him just destroy people on the bike. So it's like he's definitely an anomaly. And I'm not saying that to brown nose or blah blah blah. Just as a human to human interaction with the guy, and I've ridden with a lot of people and so many pretentious cyclists out there. Chris Froome is just a very he's just, in my opinion, my personal experience, a chill motherfucker. Let's talk about his diet. He's on Instagram recently. He's watching the Game Changers, eating some vegan Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I know Geraint Thomas, he's putting up vegan stuff on his Instagram stories. I know Egan Bernal put up Instagram stuff on his YouTube videos and Instagram stories. People send me screenshots. Thank you, those people who send me screenshots of this. And so it's just common stuff. It's high carb, low fat, or the Ben & Jerry's isn't. But these guys are fueling. No one's eating Ben & Jerry's as like a fuel source unless you're doing some epic mileage or whatever. But the staple fuels are white rice, sugar, the sports drinks, which is sugar, gels, which is sugar, maltodextrin, the bananas, potatoes, corn, the glucose, the maltodextrin, the fructose, the sucrose. These plant sugars are what fuel every epic athletic human endeavor. This is how it is. And they're great for weight loss because they only have 4 calories per gram. So if you see Natasha here, Natasha has a physique, very, very slim physique. She's 21 years of age, and most 21-year-old girls in Australia are on the heavier side. And that's not a good or a bad. That's just a physiological observation. Because most girls her age are on the pill. They've done some sort of radical dieting, so they enter adaptive thermogenesis, where their body's gaining weight on minimal calories because they've starved beforehand. But Natasha, she's been very fortunate and very smart that she's never done a diet in her life. She's never restricted the calories. She only restricts her fat, which in is a sort of a calorie restriction, isn't it? Without being so, because fat has 9 calories per gram. So typically a vegan diet is low in fat if you focus on carbohydrates. And if you keep away the olive oil, and the margarines and stuff like that, those things are very good for weight gain. So if you're trying to gain some fat, like I've been doing the last sort of month or so, just trying to get a bit more fat for summer. It sounds crazy, but because summer just shreds me up. So I prefer going into summer with a little bit more weight on me, a bit more body fat on me, than going in there too lean. You can see my face, very, very lean. And summer hasn't even started yet. So it's just, it is an issue long term on this vegan lifestyle, is where does the body fat go? Where does it come from? You got to preserve it. So same with Natasha. Look how lean Natasha is. Look how little we train on Strava. So it definitely, if you are underweight or if you are very lean, keep your cardio low. Keep your fat intake up more. If you are trying to lose fat, then keep your cardio up and keep your dietary fat down. It's very, very simple. So what I've been doing this year is cardio minimal, not totally absent, because I do like the benefits of being fit and being athletic, and I do like the feeling of that. But I've just been doing a bare bones amount per week, a little time trial once a week or here or there. And, it's the same with Natasha sort of thing. She doesn't do time trials that much. But again, if you are overweight, keep your fat intake down. So Chris Froome doing the vegan thing, it makes sense. It makes all the sense in the world. You have better recovery. Why is that? Because you have more carbohydrate typically, but you have less animal products in your system, or no animal products in your system. With meat and dairy comes fatigue metabolites. Not so much the dairy, but definitely the meat. You've got all the metabolic waste products in the meat, the fish and the stuff like that, and the eggs and the steak and all that stuff. There's metabolic fatigue products in there, the benzopyrenes, the heterocyclic amines, the pollutants from the environment that bioaccumulate in the tissue of these animals, and then now your liver and kidneys have to process that. And if you're a pro cyclist, you are putting your liver and kidney under extreme duress with all the training and the elevation and the natural EPO production. Your kidneys produce EPO. So I would hypothesize that a vegan cyclist will put out more EPO naturally than someone who's eating meat. Let's say you got twin brothers or twin sisters. This has been my observation, is that the people I coach, they go quick, fast. They boost their fitness right up there. There's people out there saying, you're giving my girlfriend's EPO or whatever. It's like, no, I'm not. And you can tell I'm not, because their performances aren't indicative of EPO. Their progression, though, it's borderline suspicious, and how lean they are. But that's not through drugs. That's through nutrition, because if you take drugs, you eventually just become psychotic and nuts and you'll blow out. But you see my girlfriends over the years, they always stay slim, and I don't recommend caffeine either, unless it's maybe winter or the time trial, because caffeine can burn you out. Same with any stimulant, less is more. So Chris Froome's vegan diet, fantastic to see him a bit more public about it. It's rice, it's Kenyan style, it's ugali. All the Kenyan runners eat this thing called ugali, which is white, processed, refined, sugary cornmeal. It's basically corn sugar, the ugali. It's pure carbohydrate, pure refined sugar, and it's this cornmeal they boil up until it's this big thick paste, and then they just eat it with their hands. And you can see it on these Kenyans. They just guzzle these white carbohydrates, and they're so much leaner than the Aussie runners or the American runners, who often have the protein shakes and the whey shakes, and they're battling the bulge. So again, not to make fun of anyone out there who's battling weight, but I'm just giving you the tips and the hints. And Chris Froome's on board. When are you going to get on board? Egan Bernal's on board. Geraint Thomas is on board. Anyone who wants their best performance is on board with the vegan thing. There's no doubt about it. And it's not the hippie vegan, under-eating, sugar-phobic 1980 Hippocrates vegan nonsense. This is 2019 durianrider's world. Carb the fuck up. Carb strong diet, massive amount of carbohydrate. And if you're trying to stay lean, keep that fat intake low, and go. Anyway, you got any questions down below? Hit us up. Good on Froome for making it more public. Enjoy the Tour de France.